And welcome back everybody to another episode of All the Mods 10. I'm your host, Undisturbed Potato, and today we are going to be making the Wither's Compass, or making some of the items for it since we do have the rest. But before we get started, let's say hello to Rex over here. I don't know why, he always finds himself stuck in this area with these sea pickles. I don't know, maybe he likes them, maybe he has fun with them. And surprisingly enough, he has left this fish alive, which is kind of crazy because I do believe I did put in 2 for him, and so far looks like we only have 1, so he might have taken out the other guy. Just a little heads up, nobody has yet to claim to name either one of these 2 guys, so if you guys have any suggestions, make sure to head down to the comments and leave them there. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Alright. But yeah, we do have 2 names available because I have yet to name this dude as well. So just a little FYI. And I know I have been slacking it when it comes to uploads, and I do apologize for that. It's just I am working on my own mod, and I programmed a boss and it broke everything, and I am ripping my hair out trying to figure out exactly what happened. So yeah, very fun. I love it. Yeah, if you are good at modding, let me know what you guys are working on and or have published. That would be pretty cool to check out. One of the first things we are going to need is some wither skeleton seeds. However, I do not know where I left my soul extractor. Maybe it is back at the temporary base, but in the meantime, one of the things that we are going to need is this glyph of wither. It is used in the compass, and if you take a quick look at the recipe, it is 3 wither skulls with abjuration essence, which this can be crafted with some fermented spider eyes, sugar, and milk, and that is exactly what I am going to be working on. So let's grab us some sugar, a fermented spider eye, oh sweet, I can craft it, and some malik. And just like that, as soon as we put these guys down over here, we should be able to craft it right away. And it looks like it works. So if I come up here, I'll just add it right there and let this guy work on the off time. And just like that, we get the abjuration essence, and then the witherheads, or the skulls, you can get from either the loot fabricator, or I do have a blaze spawner back at our temporary area back where we started, and I just switched it out with the wither skeleton spawn egg just so that I can put a little beheading thing onto that, and now we are collecting some wither skeleton skulls over here. So that's what I did, and it looks like I did not leave soul extractor over here. Damn, I do not know where I left it. It's kind of a shame because I did have the little speed up thing on it. So, reason why I needed it is because we are going to be making these soul jars with these wither skeleton essences. So we're gonna fill them all up, and we're gonna make the seed just because when we do plant this seed, we will be able to get this wither skeleton essence that we are going to need to make these witherproof bricks, which we turn it into these, which is used in the Wither's Compass. So I'll be back when I get those jars. Alright, and we are back. So I was able to craft that up very quickly, and all we gotta do is toss these guys in here, if I'm not wrong. Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure I got those correctly. And then I just need some supremium, which thankfully we have some bees, and we have a ton of these available. But yeah, just like that, we craft up our wither skeleton seeds. I'm gonna go toss them down. Oh, oops, forgot they come over here. But yeah, we'll toss them down over here into our farm, and then we'll be able to start getting the essences to craft those blocks. Awesome. Now that we do have those planted, we don't need that anymore, and if we come over here, click on this twice, just like that, we should be able to make these witherproof blocks, which is just made with these essences from planting it, and some soul stone, which you can get from the nether. I do not believe these have a recipe at all. Nope, just you can use an extractor to farm it, but other than that, you really can't do much with it. Yeah, like that, we'll grab some of these, and just like that, we do have 20 of these bricks. We only need 18 for this, and just like that, that is one thing done. These wither of glyphs are made at the scribe's table. I think you have to do it manually. I don't think there's a little shortcut, so if I'm not wrong, you should be able to just throw a stack of skulls and a stack of the essence on top and just keep asking the table to craft the little glyph, and you should be able to do this quickly. But just like that, we kind of went over how to make those two things. The only other thing that I can think of that might be a little bit of a struggle for people to make would be this arrow of wither, and then we'll go over how to get these wither comb blocks. So when it comes to the arrow of wither, there is the normal way of making the potion through the blaze table. However, I do like using the little alchemy table over here, or alchemist cauldron. I am going to need some wither skulls, so let's grab a couple of these. But yeah, so when we are over here, we are going to want to put a bucket of water inside, and just like that, it is bubbling. It is nice and ready. Unlike the blaze stand where you do need to put blaze powder, this is ready from the get-go. So if we come over here and grab some warts, all we have to do is right click it into the cauldron, and after a short period of time, it should turn into the awkward potion. From there, we are able to add the gunpowder and the dragon's breath. I'm pretty sure you should be able to just throw everything in here, and this will automatically turn into what you need it to. So yeah, you just throw in the wither skull and the redstone, and just like that, that should be everything needed. And then the cool thing about the cauldron, I think this alchemist cauldron and the normal cauldron are similar. I don't know, maybe you do get more from this guy, but yeah, you get 4 of these potions, and just like that, you just toss it in, you come grab some arrows, you put it around, and just like that, you have plenty of these arrows. I did make it before just to make sure I did understand how to craft it in that cauldron, but just like that, we have 56. In reality, we only need 18, and that is another one done. Just like that. We're knocking this out of the way very quickly. Alright, and in a moment, I'll meet you guys back at the apiary. And I am back. So, the reason why we are at the apiary is because I do plan on making all of these guys high productivity, as well as giving them meta-eternal, which should be over here. Damn, I did not realize I had so many of these just in storage. But yeah, just like that, we get some of these genes, you combine it with the honey treats, and just like that, we should be able to upgrade our bees to high productivity and meta-eternal. I know this is a little excess just because we only need 18 withered comb blocks, but I kind of don't care at this point. I just use the drawers to filter out excess. So, to be able to produce the withered comb blocks, you are going to need a withered bee, which is just a skeletal bee that's been given a wither rose. To get these wither roses, all you have to do is summon the wither right next to your animal farm and let him blow them up. Just like that, you should be able to get at least 20 wither roses. In our case, we really only need 4. I don't know why I have 5 bees, so let's put one of these guys away, just because I don't really care about having them all. Yeah, all you gotta do is spawn them in, right click them with that, and then I do plan on giving them 1 of each, and then capturing them just like that, we have our withered bee that does have high productivity and a meternal behavior. And just like that, I did convert all of them. And I do plan on removing some of these stellarite bees. So I'm just going to put 4 of those down, and then I'll put in these withered guys, and just like that, we have replaced those guys, and this will continue. The only thing we do have to do is replace one of these with the wither rose. And just like that, we basically have this done. We could just speed this up just a little bit, just so we can see if it produces blocks, and just like that, it does. And that is another item down and out the way. I already explained that I did have a little hostile neural network farm set up to produce these hearts. The wither builder, it is a very easy crafting recipe. Just set this up in a pattern provider, and you should be able to make this relatively quickly. And let's see, the nether star generator, this is not really too hard to craft. It's just some of the items can be a little bit pricey. As you can see, we are going to need a ton of wither skulls. This compass does use a lot, so make sure you are using a farm that can produce quite a lot of skulls pretty quickly, because you are going to be going through it pretty rapidly. But yeah, let's see. This guy, I think the hardest part is making sure you have this all down in the auto crafting system and not messing up, because if you do mess up, it's going to be a little hard. Not to mention, whoops, let's come back over here. If we click on this guy, echo shards is probably going to be the harder part for you guys. So if you guys love bees, set up a little sculpt bee, or like me, just use the little hostile neural network farm to get yourself some echo shards. Just like that, you should be able to grab that one. And I think last but not least for this episode, we are going to set up a little area to farm some of these legendary inks to make these wither scrolls. So in a moment, I will be back. Alright, and last but not least, we are going to set up a little farm to get the legendary ink so that we will be able to make these wither skull scrolls. So to make one of these, you are going to need at least 2 of these inks, one to craft the actual scroll itself, and you are going to need some paper, some legendary ink, and a blood vial, which this you can get pretty easily. As if you can see, if you read this, you can just stand inside an alchemist cauldron and or put a mob inside, and it could be cooked for blood, and then you just right click it with some glass bottles and you should be able to get those vials. But before that, we gotta do a little ritual, just because I haven't done this in a minute. Yeah, so we're gonna turn on this ritual. We are going to make sure we put down a little containment jar before I spawn them in, and then we are going to spawn in the dead king. I don't know if you guys remember, we did pick this guy up a while back when we were in the catacombs, but yeah, he is going to play a very important role for us. So now that we have him in this jar, we can reset up our little drigme farm. So for these drigmes, I do plan on just putting this right here. Then you just right click it with one of these drigme charms, and after a short while, it should turn into a little stone hedge or drigme henge. And then you can just spawn other drigmes on top, and just like that, we do have 4 drigmes in this spot, and then we can just put down these containment jars. It does work in a 7x7 radius, so I'm just gonna go a few blocks out and put it down. And then if I come over here, I could just re-grab everybody else. The only reason why I'm bringing them all out is because we will be able to get more items more efficiently when we do have more jars out. So I'm pretty sure you do need at least 4 or more, and then it should be working at a pretty good speed. I'm not too sure about that. It's been a while since I've done this, but yeah. And just like that, we have reset up our little area. And over here, if we take a quick look, this is all the stuff that we have from before. We are farming a little bit of scrap, some shells, and then the important parts is the forges, the thames, the witherite, everything needed for all the mud star. But yeah, these guys do require source to run, so I did put a little jar here, and I am going to connect it using the NME system. So I'll put a acceleration upgrade there. I'll get a little generic stack from over here, drag it in, and just like that, once this guy is connected to our system, it should be able to start filling up with some source. So yeah, let's drag this over here, and just like that, it is now online, and this guy is starting to fill up. And now these guys over time will keep collecting stuff and putting it in here. My question is, can we speed them up? Alright guys, I am back. So after waiting for a while, I did manage to get some legendary ink. So, to get the blood, as I said, you can just stand inside the cauldron. As you can see, I already collected a little bit of blood. All you have to do is come over here and then right click it with a empty glass bottle. And just like that, you get your vials. And then you just put them over here with the paper and the ink, and then if we come over here, we just look for the wither skull. Just like that, we get a tier 9 spell, and then all we have to do is come to the arcane anvil, toss in the scroll, put in the ink, and just like that, we have a tier 10 wither scroll. And just like that, now we have everything to be able to make this wither's compass. And just like that, we have another part for the Aldermont Star, which is pretty cool. I did reduce the size of everything over here just so that it can focus on less objects, and I think it will help get us more ink. I am not too sure about that, but yeah, one thing that I did want to mention real quick is the glyphs, or whatever they're called, for the compass. As I said earlier, you should be able to just throw the abjuration essence and some wither skulls on top, and it should work. So if we come over here, make sure magnet mode's off, and we just toss it up like that. When we are over here, we just right click it with our spell book, and then we type in wither, and then when we click on it, we just put select, and it will automatically collect what it needs and create our glyph. And then we could just keep repeating this a few times. I am not sure whether this is the fastest way of doing this or if there's a way to automate it. However, this does work. But yeah, just like that, we were able to work on everything, cover whatever might have been confusing from the recipe to get the wither's compass. So let me get back over here, and yeah, so today's episode was a little short. It's just I've been busy with a lot of other things, and as I said, I have been working on my own mod. So yeah, gotta figure out what happened, what crashed everything, and how to fix it. I am not intermediate when it comes to Java, so it is a little confusing. I am rather new to this, so it's been a process getting everything done. Yeah, that's mainly the reason why I have not been recording as much. I have been working on that, but yeah, if you guys do want a new series, let me know, just because we are going to be wrapping up the portion of us playing and making the Aldermont Star. As for finishing up the rest of the builds and everything, that'll come over time. I just wanted to see if you guys had any recommendations as to which mod pack I should tackle next. If you guys know which one I should try, let me know down in the comments. If not, by next week I will have picked a new mod pack, and we will be sure to start on that. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you guys have any comments, questions, advice, suggestions, or have any names for the two villagers, let me know down in the comments. I do try to check them daily, if not at least every other day. But if I do not respond to you in the comments, make sure to check out the next episode because I may address it there. Just because those will require a little bit of a lengthy explanation to get to, and that is why I will do that. But just like that, guys, in today's episode, we were able to make the Wither's Compass. So, next up is to make that little Insanium block to make the fuel, and I believe that should be one of the last things we need before we just make the Patrick Star, and we should be able to make everything to get this star done. So, with that, guys, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, peace.